really clearly. And she had that. Like, there were times when we were like 30 seconds into a conversation, I'm thinking like, it's going well. And then she has a hand signal of like, this is done. I was like, fuck. I don't know. Like, and so like, I think that's because of that. Just like how I had good tech people previously, I had great people previously. And so that, I think, built a thing where I didn't need it, so I didn't develop it or even really try. Which in hindsight is terrible, but it is what it is.
The best PA ended up moving on to other endeavors. She had a dream job, and so she's doing that.
And it makes sense. Young person in Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. High, upwardly mobile careers. All right, so we're good, right?
Yeah.
Was there anyone else at the house, or everyone went out?
Everyone's gone.
Nice. Glad there's no squatters.
I saw people there, and the house cleaners. House cleaners had told us that someone was still sleeping in their bed. This was at 11:17, 11:29, 11:27. Ocean Bum contacted me, and then it was thief. But whenever I left the house, all the streamers were outside of the house waiting for their Ubers and everything.
Okay, well, that's good. Yeah. Hey guys, we're on the drive home. I might do some IRL with Mondo today when I get to Houston. So after this road trip. It should be a fun day. It's real chill. I'm just gonna casually stream a bit of it, and we'll just see. I mean, feel free to ask me any questions or interact if you want to. It's just like a free 2-hour Q&A. If was Lowell's in consideration? Yes. But I will be honest, based entirely on reputation, because he was vouched for quite strongly by a bunch of people, and I do believe that he has a strength at something that I do lack currently, organizationally. Like, honestly, it's just like, because like my first thought about Lowell's was that like, well, his skill set overlaps with mine on the finance side, so like that's kind of redundant, right? But I actually think that that is good. Because it means I don't have to do that shit, potentially. But I understand it, so like, it's not like anything will ever like catch me off guard. So it's like, I think that's actually a good thing. Worst event ever? I mean, you know what? I hope the next event was even more worse. How bad do I have to make it before I'm consistently over, 15, 20K viewers, huh?
Worst event would be 0 event.
No, I don't regret picking Nerdballer. I think it's too early in me doing shows to reveal my thought process currently. I think in time it'll be evident, but like, listen, my favorite way to plan things is where either of the outcomes is something that, is good for me. Okay? Or all three of the outcomes or whatever. And so I generally try as much as I can to put myself in that kind of situation. And so like almost nothing can really happen that's like unexpected or even unwanted. It takes a while before you're there. Usually you're gambling something.
What are you gambling?
Oh, so I was just kind of abstractly talking of time. Time is absolutely true. So you never get to escape that one, unfortunately. The counterpoint is that like even if you do nothing, you're losing it, right? Like, so, but now it would be like because everyone was like, oh my god, PA, no PA, or content, no content, right? I know a lot of y'all will say nontent the whole time, but like, I mean, I don't expect y'all to take a look at it from my perspective, but like, if you wanted to attempt that, I knew that because I planned the show, so I in my mind originally I started with a bunch of like actual PA tasks, and then I quickly realized that the way The Apprentice works, it would be hard to make any season of The Apprentice live streaming, because there would be such boring moments, because The Apprentice is obviously SVOD, it's filmed and then edited and all that, and so you can chain together the content, despite the fact that the majority of the time was probably non-tint as most productions, right? Reality TV or otherwise. I don't have that luxury as a live streamer. It has to be kind of interesting every 30 minutes, an hour at least. And so that means the activities that normally you would use to test a Apprentice, you have to mix in there with things that are just content, right? And so knowing that, I was like, well, how can I make the content, the stuff that's kind of active and interesting, such as the paintballing and the dodgeball shit, you know, those are all like for your entertainment, right? Like they wouldn't be how I would test a normal PA, but I use those things as a way to test how people handle new environments, you know, being under stress, you know, being under the gun essentially, and then just getting really worked up and into something and being able to disengage. Like those became character assessments, you know, instead of you know, like actual skill set determinants. And I think that worked out really well, actually. And I'm glad I know that now, because then it makes me more confident to like just, because like originally it was like the first 4 days we had like active events, stuff to do, archery, right? Which probably needed to happen. One gripe I 100% agree with y'all with was we should have started earlier and ended earlier every day.
I think 6 arrows was still too much.
For some of the people, yeah. That I agree totally. That one's on me for having this fucking crazy ass schedule. Like self-imposed sleeping schedule. But like for the rest of it, like guys, just like try to follow for just a second, right? The first half of the show, there wasn't that many PA tasks, and y'all were like, what the fuck? Why does PA need to do X, Y, Z? It was kind of fun to watch, but like I agree that the big question was why, right? I think it's easier for me to make the case to y'all now that y'all have seen the thing. And then later, it's like PA tasks. But that's by design as well, because I don't want a bunch of fucking idiots who aren't even character tested, or even basic, like fucking, like Ryan Hines. Like, what a motherfucking idiot, dude. Like, dude, like, even just hearing the habits, like with him riding in Jason's car, I was like, God damn it, dude. Imagine putting an unwrapped muffin on the seat and just sitting on it, like blasting it to fucking pieces and then just like not cleaning it. Like what the fuck is that? Like, you gotta be trolling me, right? Sticking apple cores in the door handles?
Really?
So here's the caveat: the dude is homeless and lives in his car.
Oh.
So he probably just throws his trash in the back seat, right? But then when he's riding with Jason, who is like a aerospace white collar professional, and he does that, it's jarring as fuck, because Jason has forgotten that people like that exist, because he doesn't interact with them, right? Because like, I mean, he's been working for 20 years in aerospace. Everyone he knows is probably a rocket scientist. And then you have this fucking retard, you know? And it's not like, he's not like obviously like actually, I mean, he's pretty dumb, but like
I think we've proven quantifiably.
At a glance, you wouldn't know that about him, right? Like, just looking at his appearance, it's not like, you know, he actually has like severe Asperger's or something like that. That's like very obvious to see. And so you don't give him the consideration that this guy might be fucking retarded, you know? I mean, whatever.
Unscuff says he was the one who brought tools and his wife is Taiwanese. He said, thanks for having me. Thank you for coming to the event.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Cool. I mean, yeah. I liked him as a person for sure. Like, it'd be someone I could see myself being friends with, but and I realize that part of this is it takes time, but actually I think it just takes time. I don't think there's there's probably very few people who couldn't actually handle streamers being streamers, but it would take some getting used to. And so I did feel bad because his main gripe was that Shuby's TTS was insane, right? Like insanely harsh on him. At the same time, and like, this is why I don't fault him, because even like very seasoned people like Kate will lose sight of this occasionally. Even me, I have to remind myself, it's like, you have to, the more something impacts you in this space, I already fucked up, it's fine. the more something impacts you in this space, the more it is essential that you don't show that it affects you, right? Because when you do, that's that first drop of blood in the water. And like, not to make it kind of a overdone analogy, but like, I mean, influencers, you know, go to where the content is like sharks go to where the blood is.
That's why I only cry in the shower.
It sucks, but like, that's what's gonna happen. And so unless you want that thing to be the centerpiece, don't let it affect you as much as you can, right? And so like, that's the thing though, like while I could probably teach that, I don't necessarily want to be the one to teach that, you know? And so like, that was like instantly me thinking like, well, he's not even gonna be happy in this role, because that is relentless, you know? Like it is, like the more like it is known and he makes a big deal out of it being bothersome, the more they're gonna do it. And so I was like, I don't know, like, I'm sure like if he ever does a streamer event again, I'm sure with some time he'll get used to it, and then the memory of that having been annoying to him or effective on him will fade. But like, even if he won the competition, I mean, bro, they're gonna TTS him till Kingdom Come. Like, it was really early to be having, you know, blood in the water. Is how I would put it.
Careful.
Oh boy. King Ranch.
Kingo Rancho.
Huh. You want front cam or this cam? If I'm hoping we get back at, okay. I mean, yeah, I think I have time to take Mondo. I just need to like quickly put some bullets in the mags. I do plan on hanging out with Mondo if he has the time. We'll go shooting, we'll go grab dinner. It'll be chill though, guys. I don't want y'all to be hunting. It's like, the gun part might be cool, but like, it's just more so think of it like just doing stuff on stream. I mean, we'll see what we get, I guess. I saw that. I think you were in the Discord. I think my Discord mentioning your resume. You're the guy who has the Ivy League degree or something? Or is it Stanford? Address beats? In what way? Chapstick would be good. If I fuck this up, I hang out with Mondo? What do you mean? He's bringing me the CX desk, which I think is a fun little memento from the first event.
I still feel like they should have made a boat with their desks.
I mean, that would have saved money for sure, but I actually love the way the boat challenge actually went.
I did too.
Because I was like, oh, it's not only cheaper, it's more inventive.
Yeah, but then we also had to get in the fucking cold-ass pool.
Yeah. It would have been better if next time we know, I think in addition to like, you can't buy fabricated buoyancy, you also need to add that like a certain weight. I don't know, like there's I'm sure like
there were workarounds.
Yeah, like you'd have a very specified thing that basically just covers insulation foam, or how much of it you can use. Fuck me, dude. I fucking suck at driving. Whatever.
My balls still haven't dropped from how cold the water was. It's still.
Dude, that was insane. It took your breath away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We should have waited for them to get on the boat first before we got in.
Yeah, no.
Like, we got in, and then they put the boat in, and then we were already making waves for like...
Yeah.
5 minutes.
That's true. go to the gym with Mondo. I mean, I have a home gym. It's not much to, I mean, it's okay.
Oh, would you work out with Mondo?
Yeah, I mean, I would. I'm gonna be honest with you guys though, right? Like, working out's cool, but like, it really is just about eating habits. Like, do y'all know that I basically worked out like a handful of times in the last like 6, 7 or 8 years. Like, if you just are able to control calories in versus out, you'll look reasonably fit. Obviously, resistance, strength training is better to have on top of that, but you don't actually run even or lift your way to being in shape. That's like the biggest thing, because like for many reasons, like the fitness industry, it's not in their best interest to necessarily push that too hard, because it doesn't cost any money.
Don't you want to look shredded? You want 8-pack abs? Buy this protein.
Yup. Ironically, if I didn't start streaming, I'd probably get back into fitness slightly, which Kate probably hates, because I think she would rather see me more fit than more talking.
I mean, why not both? Can let you yap away at the gym.
I think it's crazy, but the way they were titling it first, it sounded like Combi got shot, but shot at is still very crazy. Now, like, through doing this event, I did find a good remote PA, potentially on a daily basis, potentially for events, but I did leave with employees, and that's before we even see if like Dunkel or D10 or anyone wants to do it, which I'm serious about. Like, I'm down. If they want to do it, I'm down. What's the beats drama? You're gonna have to like encapsulate what you're asking for me there. Who was your favorite? In hindsight.
Oh, and Paul had said on stream, I'm very, very rarely wrong, but I was wrong about beats. I too was wrong about beats. It still makes me think of my brother. But also makes me think about you saying the blood in the water thing. Like, anything that you told to Beats, like, you could see him reacting to it immediately. And so that's what made Paul like hone in on him immediately, the golden goose.
D10 was good at stuff. How could they script it? Dude, that first spreadsheet, I was like, are you shitting me? I like Florida Boy, but I was just, but, I was also equally impressed with how quickly he actually made a spreadsheet after that. I was like, dude, if you know how to do this, what the fuck are we doing with that first one, man? That's like a troll. But if you told me to troll someone with a spreadsheet, I'd make that first one.
I mean, maybe he was smart and he just stalled him for time,
That shit was fucking hilarious, man. Like, I was like, why did we... At this point, why even put it in a fucking spreadsheet, man? You could have just fucking carved it into the walls. Want to hear the craziest part? I think in an attempt to compete with Google Sheets, I believe you can actually get the Office Suite for free on a certain version basis.
Yeah, I mean, there's a 30-day trial thing.
Yeah, it's like, dude, what? Like, what are we doing here? third bowlers thing was kind of crazy too, because I was watching him manually add it at the end column. I was like, bro, how the fuck did you not know that? Like, if you ran a, I don't know, if you ran a business, I mean, it depends on the business, I guess. I mean, I don't know. Like, for me, though, I feel like you just got to know how it works so that you can at least, like, fucking, if someone makes a spreadsheet, like, even Paul, right? Like, he doesn't make spreadsheets, but the people who help him with his events make spreadsheets, and he has to learn how to read one. Like, I don't know how you get somewhere not knowing how to read that, but, you know, whatever. That'd be so cool if my PA showed up in a Lambo. It'd be almost as cool as if my, you know, PA wore Richard Mills. That'd be pretty cool too.
Do you miss the event?
A little bit.
Really?
Just a little bit.
There'll be more.
I mean, I get it. It's like, it feels so cool to have, like, put it together, brought all the people together. That was really cool. And it's one of those things where you definitely appreciate it more in hindsight, because during it, you're like flying by the seat of your pants.
I was barely flying, I was just being dragged along. Mouth open, catching all the gravel.
Oh, I guess we need gas at some point too. I will say though, this is gonna sound so out of touch, but like, I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. There were like moments in day 2 and 3 where I'm like, really? For 10 grand, the chance of 10 grand, or the 100K job, you'll do this? Because like in those days, you're still at just a real simple probability of like 1 in 25. Like a 4% chance at a 100K job or 10K. Like the analytical part of my mind is doing like a weighted probability analysis. 4% of 100K, right? Like, so you're saying for 4K or $400 adjusted if it's 10K, you're willing to do that? Like, that's crazy. That's crazy to me. But I knew that once we'd started and they had done that it was going to continue, because, you know, some cost fallacy, right? Like, now they're pot committed. But that first bit, I was like, there's no way. And I'm like, oh shit, okay. Now knowing this, okay, like a couple of months ago, Paul was like wanting to build his own city. And I was like, if you can get the fire started, I could see it working for a time. And then, you know, obviously it got too expensive when he was like planning it or looking into it. But people would absolutely go. It would absolutely be a thing, and it would only fail if, like, you know, something happened so that it had to be shut down, or like, yeah, essentially just something happened until it had to be shut down. That's what would end it. Like some dumbass doing some dumbass thing, you know, and then causing like a lot of negative attention.
What'd you think of the presentations?
Holy shit, they suck at presentations, for the most part. I think next time I'm going to actively be like, okay, so here's the thing, right? People will be like, oh, why does it have to be entertaining, bro? Like, first of all, I'm going to tell you this, guys, okay? Showmanship and being good at presenting is always appreciated. It doesn't matter if you're in, like, the most old line company boardroom. It doesn't. It's always better than not having it. And I don't think you need to trade off between having, you know, the information that's needed to be conveyed versus making it entertaining. I think that's just a whole nother depth of, like, skill. But it's always appreciated. And I'm going to tell you this, okay? For an influencer, even more so. Like if you're pitching influencers, you better be way more entertaining and way more succinct. It's just how it goes. And so, like, I should have pushed him way harder and just clearly stated in the prompt, like, you got to make this entertaining, right? I'd rather you make it entertaining while pitching than to, even if it means straying away from certain stipulations than for you to make it boring as fuck, but check all the boxes. That's what I would say in the future. That's one improvement for sure. But also, this is my first one, and I had to do it in like a short amount of planning, and so I had to come up with things that could be done on a fly that didn't require us having either certain equipment or certain venue or whatever. It will be better in the future. We should do a post-mortem analysis at some point.
That was the plan.
With Tyler, right?
Yep. And with James as well. Oh, shit, Mom.
Yeah, that'd be great. Guys, yeah, I appreciate the support and you're all showing up to watch it. It was a lot of fun for me. I will be doing more events for sure. I used to think, well, what am I gonna do for content? I think I have it now. It's like we're gonna throw in events throughout the year, and then we're gonna go on travel IRL excursions throughout the year, and then that'll be basically the mainstay of the content, I think. And then like day to day, it'll just be like, a day, it's like essentially a day in the life of, which is like not something it'd be hard to grow a community doing just that, I think, even though it is kind of interesting. But I think, yeah, it's just going to be what I've been doing in between, but events and then travel. Oh, TTS is muted? Well, it should be on. I'm always happy to take your money. That is, I would give credit to Beats. I mean, I'm sure a bunch of people said it, but like, I heard it from him first. TTS through the whole house. $19 or some shit. Two reasons. One, if you're doing sneaky shit, it catches it, and then someone will go and film it. Right? Two, probably would have made $20,000-$30,000. But now we know. I wasn't even gonna have PTZ cameras at first. That was like a Paul contribution last minute. And that's crazy. Do you know how much those cameras cost? I didn't want to say it until like the thing was over.
$20K each.
Yeah, some crazy like that. I was like, Jesus. When we get home to Houston, which, yeah, farming TTS as primary income. I don't know if I want to do that quite yet. Maybe.
I'm gonna take a quick power nap.
You are? Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Let me know if you need me to take over.
I think I'll be good. I'm pretty awake. I just need to stop somewhere for gas, but other than that, yeah.
Good night, everybody. Welcome to my sleep tended channel.
I believe that for the next Apprentice event, I will be able to just turn it on easier. Because, like, this has given me enough traction to feel like, nah, these motherfuckers, they don't, Paul's right. I mean, like, they don't deserve more. Like, as a group.
Not just Paul. Paul is the only one who's right. Who else is right? Your wife. Okay? You're too nice, dude. But You put yourself out of your comfort zone, and this will make you grow in the future. So
it's interesting because I'm not usually too nice. It's just like if I don't know anything about, but that's a default assumption, right? You have to know that by and large, mostly it's idiots, and then you're like, well, I'm reacting to the idiots. When the person who's not an idiot comes up, I'll treat them differently when I figure that out.
yeah.
That's a way better default than, it sounds really shitty, but like it's a way better default. Yeah. No, the out of touch thing I was going to mention earlier, chat, was that yeah, like the amount of money it takes to get people to do this crazy of a thing is like it's kind of crazy to me. That's the part where it's out of touch. You could say that I've forgotten if I don't even know if I ever felt that way though. Because like 10K, when 10,000 was a lot to me, was actually worth a lot more than what 10,000 is worth today. It's probably worth like 20 to 25K. Pushed me to do it, not only because it got done, but like because it is true. It is so much easier to improve the thing by doing it once, even if it's shitty, and then you can go in and make very, very concise changes, right? Very targeted, specific changes. That's way faster in terms of iterating than just sitting on an idea and overly planning it. Holy shit, dude, like this, like there's no comparison. That's what it is. And so a lot of y'all were saying, oh, you shouldn't have or like you shouldn't have rushed it, right? No, you should rush it. If you assuming you can survive it not going as well as you hope, you should rush it. And like, let's be honest here, for me, like, how could I not survive it? You know, I paid for it out of pocket, and the money wasn't like that crazy. Essentially, so in December, my KPP was, you know, kind of inflecting upward, and I think I ended December with like $35,000 of KPP earnings. And so then the show before the $10,000 prize was budgeted to cost like 30 to 35. So I was like, okay, so like maybe I'll end up, you know, obviously I'll have viewership, so the KPP by then will make it break even. But maybe I like break even or slightly lose money, right? Maybe slightly make money. That was the original thought process. So I was definitely going to survive it either way, you know, because it wasn't like if I didn't do the event well the first time, like, you know, never again would I get to do an event because people wouldn't trust me with their money. I'm using my own money, right? No one's going to care if it fails, other than, you know, me. So with that in mind, rushing the event makes a lot of sense. I'm gonna tell you this, guys, like, believe it, don't believe it, whatever. While there is some correlation to being rich and being smart, it's not particularly strong. There are plenty of fucking, not actually retarded, but pretty fucking dumb rich guys. There are a lot of pretty fucking dumb rich guys. And it's not even just luck. I'll tell you what is probably more important than IQ. Assuming you have somewhere in the range of 95 to 105 IQ, you don't need to be smarter than that to be rich. It's helpful. You don't need to be, though. It kind of depends on what you've chosen to make your grind. That matters a lot, because there are grinds that require very high IQ, but not getting rich, right? In fact, I would say the most common personality trait of someone who, you know, makes money and gets rich on their own, self-made, to whatever extent you want to, you know, halo that, it's people who are pretty relentless, and you know, persevere, essentially. It literally is the how many times can you pick yourself up? Like, sometimes you get lucky and you only had to do it like one time, if even. Other times you got to pick yourself up 20 times, 15 times, 30 times. But the idea is that every time you jump in, you learn something and you get a little bit better, even if you end up defeated. Like, it's the fastest way to learn. And so, even if someone had 115, 120 IQ versus someone with a flat 100, the flat 100 guy is going to learn so much faster, continuously trying and failing, than the smart guy is, like, getting it, you know, in some kind of formal educational way. Okay? Like, whether that's college or, you know, a certification or whatever, that's a slower way of learning than just iterating. You know? There's an old quote that goes like, a day spent running a business, like sitting at the very top, making all the decisions, is more educational than a lifetime or career spent learning about it academically. A day versus like 30, 40 years. It's a little bit of an exaggeration, but like, it's not much of an exaggeration. Last night ended with Nerdballer winning it and screwing me over by taking it. The funniest comment I saw, dude, okay, was someone was like fucking railing on Twitter, like, huh, you picked the guy who drives a Lamborghini, lives in a mansion, you know, and manages OF people? And my reply was, have you considered that I am also a guy who drives a Lamborghini and lives in a mansion and runs OF people? It's like, bro, what? Like, I hired someone who I could see a little bit of myself in, yeah. Of course. But even beyond that, he was pretty good. You know. Why did my greedy ass wife want the dress? Okay. Bro, she has dresses from Keaton that cost $10,000. I like the fact that she can like a dress that costs $300 or actually $200. You just gave the wrong receipt, right? Like, she just likes the dress. You know? It's rare that she finds something she likes. And it's the time of finding the thing that is the scarcity, not the cost with it. And, like, you know, maybe you're incredibly biased and you can't ever see it any other way, but try to see it from my perspective, right? Like, the onset of the show and the kind of planning was that, like, I wanted this to be an event where, like, no one leaves worse off than they came. But I quickly realized within a day that that's not possible, because some of these idiots aren't looking to maximize for that. If everyone showed up, you know, with the thought process of, I'm here to either benefit my streaming career or make some good KPP or get a good job or win some prize money, And I'd ideally like my investment to be, net zero, meaning I recoup some amount of what I spent, if anything. Then I think that could be the problem with me wanting.
Dude, that's so true. I'm at Chili's right now. Yeah, for real, dude. But we're about to shoot some fuck. Every single good range just lets you bring. Is it good range? Alright. Do they have do they have like a printer or anything to print out like the ops? Put them on the.
Yo, chat, I was saying, bro, the dude that Clav literally ran over in the whip was this. The dude that was on like the Tesla jumping on his shit. Yeah, he didn't run nobody over. That was the dude who was stream sniping us, bro. When I was with Oblivion.
I saw that. Yeah.
And then when I was with on my subathon, he pulled up too.
Yeah. How long was your subathon?
I did like a 5-day subathon, like capped.
5?
I did it into my birthday.
Okay.
Yeah, I did it in December.
All right.
But
wait, your birthday's in December as well?
Yeah.
Bro, me too. What the fuck, dude?
What day?
17th.
Bro, my shit the 16th.
Holy shit, dude.
Bro, this dude, yo, what the fuck?
We might be cousins or something.
Bro, got the same name from the same place, same birthday.
Crazy.
Wait, what year you?
2005. So yeah, you're a little bit older than me.
I'm unkish. Yeah.
Dude, that's so crazy that 22 is unk now.
I'm 22. Yeah, I just turned 22. Chat, my unk.
Bro, thank God, like I blew up quickly, so now I can.
Before you got old and shit.
Yeah, exactly. Like imagine being 25 and you just start streaming some shit like that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how do you, I feel like imagine starting streaming above like literally like 24, 25, because then like if I were to get clowned, I would deadass like quit that shit quick as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, if you young, you could be like, I'm young. I didn't blow up yet. But if you're above a certain age, I feel like it's way more. And
I can fix these Andes. They are. And I'm not saying that with any amount of derision whatsoever. It's mostly just acceptance. No, it's all just acceptance. I see for what it is now. Right? Like the whole Beats drama was like the final stake. You know? It's like, I understand now. Like, people will take advantage of you if you give them the opportunity to. And so the best move is to not give them the opportunity, which on the margins is going to look like, if you're a rich guy, being stingy and Jewish. But that's not a thing that you can change, and that's not worth, oh boy, this is some road rage happening right here. It's not something you can change, and it's not something that is worth, making yourself vulnerable to be taken advantage for. Because while on the margins, a thing here or there doesn't really matter. Like when you add it together, when it becomes the reputation, then everyone will come out of the woodworks to scam you, essentially. Right? Like Beats was like probably one of the last people I expected to have like weird little, not the last person, but he's like definitely not someone I would have put high on the list of like doing the kind of gray area shit, which that's me being fairly charitable, I think. I guarantee you that way of behaving in a white collar corporate would get you fucking shit handed soon.
Slippy just tipped $5. Respectfully, you were fixing your audience, not his. Sure, some of us came from CX, but did not fit in there. I'm glad we're back to the original program.
Oh, right. My comment was most. The CX adjacent streamers. The only thing I meant by that was just that, like, I thought, like, these people, like, I'm just throwing names out there, but like, like anyone from D10 through, CJ, and neither of those two people are problematic in my opinion at all. I definitely came away with a way more fond impression of both people, even though my initial impression wasn't even not fond. Like, you could just, okay, like maybe for like, you know, an event Paul does, like, you know, for whatever reason, he does it the way he does it. But maybe I could make an event where, like, you know, people do get reimbursed and they do, like, you know, come out ahead, neutral or ahead. And I realize that it's just not in the cards because it's not what they are seeking, you know? And so then when you realize that, it's like the way to run it is the way Paul runs it. Because it streamlines their self, it streamlines their, you know, I gotta get gas soon. It streamlines their self-interest in a way that makes more content. And that's smart. That's pretty smart. But yeah, like the beats thing, so this is like a huge ass tangent from, like, you know, all that. And I appreciate you being here, whether you're CX or not. It doesn't really matter to me. I just, early on, the CX people were very supportive, which was fantastic. But going back to, like, the beats and the dress situation, like, come on, like, think about this for a second, right? I mean,
Slippy just tipped $5. Also, I would ask for lower TTs for a week. Most of the pro Nick Donos got muted. Each time we tried to back you up against Ammo or Paul, we got muted.
well, I appreciate that. You're saying make it lower cost or what? For the next week? I mean, I don't mind. Sure, why not? We can do that. Like $2 or $3 or something? What is it, $5? I do enjoy hearing the TTS and answering all that way. It's just like, obviously, you have to calibrate for like a big event. It's gonna just fucking go nuts at the wrong time. But we'll get better on that front, absolutely. But yeah, like, if you look at the facts, unbiased, you know, if you just like love beats, you know, and you're like always gonna be in the veterans corner, I understand, I accept. But like, if you want to actually just, you know, be very, very unbiased and hear it, at least me make the case for it, it goes like this, right? The prompt was this. I'll give you the behind the scenes, right? The prompt given to the teams was that they needed to, one team got Hannah, one team got Kate, and then they got the girls' measurements sent to them, and they were tasked with finding, based on those measurements, a dress or outfit that fit that girl, and that, you know, through their just cursory research, scanning social media, finding out what that person's style is, and you know, doing that. And I left no restrictions. You can even ask that person yourself, but because they're both big influencers, it'll be hard to get their attention potentially, right? You could ask their PA if they have one. You can ask their friends, their employees, their whoever you know that has an association with them. The idea is to be resourceful, and then you come up with what you're gonna get for them.
Anonymous just tipped $5. People don't live life like you. Some people live in the moment and couldn't care less about what's next. It's their life, they can live it how they like.
Absolutely. And hopefully I wasn't coming off as judging of that. I was mostly just identifying it as well. Yeah, I mean, I don't really care how other people live. But I'm just saying that, you know, I get it's out of touch, but like, it's surprising to me that that is as often the case as it is. But yeah, so going back to the beats thing, like, hear my point of view, okay? Beats, you know, obviously applied, and I'll say just like full stop, Paul and I thought he had the best video, at least of the first batch, because we reviewed interviews in 2 batches. He was the best video in the first batch, if not the whole thing, the 60-second video. Very strong on that front, right? Like, right out the gate, if we're just looking at the applications, he's already like a top 3 contender easily. I mean, and kudos to him. Like, very good at the elevator pitch and selling yourself in a short-term format. You can go very far in life doing just that, right? So that was was the initial impression. And then obviously, I know he's ex-military, and he has a strong, system of values or whatever, right? And then I'd also heard that I didn't know the amount before the event, but I'd heard he got like an amount of disability pay, and that amount was enough to, defray some or all of his living costs, and provide the ability to pay into.
Slippy just tipped $5. Let's talk about what matters, your neighbor and the firework war. Has he surrendered, or will the bombardment commence?
Ah, yes. We gave him a week of ceasefire. But now I need him to move. Just imagine just like randomly every night shooting off a firecracker at a random time. But yeah, so like, came into it very strong, Beats that is seemingly a very strong value system, seemingly financial flexibility and robustness, right? Because if you have money coming in, you can pursue streaming. If you have just steady income coming in, I mean, that's like the fucking best possible thing, right? Like, that is that is the same flavor of the way that I stream. Obviously I have even more resources than that, but like most streamers, when they're hitting that pivotal moment of do I go full-time or not, they don't have the luxury of being fine and not really moving backwards at all financially if it doesn't work out. And so he already has a huge edge. And I assumed that financial robustness of having that steady income would not, would help him avoid like some of the temptations that like someone like a Ryan Hines I would expect. If Ryan Hines did this shit, of course, I'd be surprised if he didn't, right? But from Beats, it was a little surprising because he has like some amount of money. And so when I first heard the whole comment about the selling the bathwater because it's valuable, or selling the dress because it's valuable because of its, interaction, because of the dresses or the bathwater's interaction with Cade. Two things. One, he doesn't understand how it works. That's not how it works. He's not gonna be able to sell those items because he's not gonna be able to verify those items are real, A. But B, there's no marketing push behind it, so he can't even reach that top marginal buyer, right? But also, just like Kate at her peak versus now, not even remotely the same. I think we'd struggle to sell the dress for more than like $1,000 or $2,000. I think we'd struggle to sell the bathwater for anything less than, unless it was like encompassing something like marketing related, maybe $1,000 a jar. And so when you put it against those two things, and what I believe, especially a priori, right, behind the scenes, I told Beats that like I'd be open to like contracting him to work on a future event, if I needed the manpower, and he seemed down. And so when you look at it in that context, I think it's kind of crazy that he thought,
Anonymous just tipped $5. Beats tried too hard. He's a compulsive liar and was caught out many times in the event, but nobody took notice. He's as sly as a fox.
Well, I mean, everyone in the participant pool disliked him. And then I'm pretty sure Paul saw exactly what was actually the reality of that situation. And, I mean, the only person who was potentially taken would have been me, but like, yeah. So going back to it, it's like, he seemed to have a robust financial situation, so he's not like, literally or figuratively starving. And so I would have assumed that given, the upside of, being so like funky behavior during the show, but like none of that was in any way a hindrance to me potentially potentially having him work on a future event. The way it actually shook out means that I don't mind if he attends any event. I'd have to be very selective if I ever utilize him in a behind the camera role, right? Because for whatever reason, he's a very strong, he's kind of like a truffle pig, but of money and valuable objects. I don't think he would ever, like, you know, steal. Like, if I had my wallet on the table, I don't think he would steal it. But I think that a lot of people find, and this is a thing that you can't really change. You either get it or you don't. I think he sees it like this. This is my version of it. This guy's rich. Is he even going to notice? Even if he notices, he could just buy another such dress or whatever. He won't miss the $300 or whatever it is. You know? Is the thought process. And then he thought, maybe the compulsive part is that he knew what he was doing, but it's also possible that he gray areaed himself into having a different thought in his mind of what he was doing. Right? Because I'm just telling you, man, like, the possibility they kind of tried to push, which was like, well, Lowell's, you know, we gave Lowell's the right information. He just submitted the wrong one. It's like, bro, why would Lowell's do all that work just to give you a little bit of extra money or value? It doesn't make any sense. So Lowell's is coming at it, in my opinion. I'm not saying he's infallible. I'm saying that he's coming at it with the more believable set of intentions. Like, I know where Lowell stands, which I believe to be he made an earnest effort to make the spreadsheet, and he worked with the information he was given. Now, that doesn't incriminate or you know, cast any aspersions on Beats, but let's just consider the following. Who benefits from Beats getting reimbursements for things he shouldn't get? Beats. Does Lowell's benefit? Not at all. Okay, so then already I know that if there's any, you know, kind of not top level motive, it is going to come from Beats, not Lowell's. Okay. And then you look at the facts, okay? They bought 2 dresses.
Anonymous just tipped $5. How much were Mando's reimbursements?
They're essentially double what was audited, but I'll probably just give it to him, honestly. If he'd called in during the show, that would be more interesting, but he did it after, which is like, whatever. I mean, he is doing something for me right now, so it's like, you know, whatevs. But like, going back to it, right? My understanding was that Beats didn't even buy the dress. He might have been part of the process, but it was like mostly Fief that did that, right? Fief was definitely the main one. And so when Fief showed me that they bought 2 dresses, one as the primary, and in case she didn't like that one, or it didn't fit or something, they got the backup, which is the black dress. I was like, cool. You know, that makes sense. That's smart. Have a backup plan, right? And then I don't know, and I get what Beats is saying. Beats is saying it's a miscommunication. But here's the thing, right? It could be that, but I do not think anyone told him or insinuated to him that it was okay to keep the dresses. I'm just saying it, because our MO would probably be to keep them if they were even remotely, you know, good to Kate, or like that she wanted them, or just donate them if they weren't. No point in there is there a, well, you know, Beats can loot it. Right? That's just not in the cards. But in addition, that was never communicated. Kate never said, you know, you can keep it if you can't return it. It was said, return it. Right? And then we were answered with because it fit and it was good. And so for it to somehow shake out just so perfectly that every piece of value, every meat on the bones was extracted, that's not accidental. I can see someone convincing themselves they didn't really steal. But like if you zoom out to the black and white of it, you know, I mean, it's definitely more stealing than it's not stealing. Right? And I'm not really upset by it because, like I said, if it was Ryan Hines, I'd be like, yeah, I mean, what did I expect? Of course, right? With Beats, it was just a little confusing because it's like, you're not financially starving. You just said yourself you're doing financially very well. You're very comfortable. So then why are you still like truffle pigging value? That might be a personality disposition, right? Because like ultimately, here's what could have happened. We returned the more expensive dress that Kate couldn't fit in. Get that money back and pay $200 something for the black dress and reimburse him for that. That's how it should have happened. Okay? With him not being that involved in the dress, but being convinced that one costed more, and then being wrong in his favor, and then being like, well, she definitely doesn't want the black one when she never even got to see the black one, compounded with the fact that like they didn't even use the backup when the primary dress wasn't, you know, gonna win their team the challenge. Bro, why did you buy a backup if you're not going to use the backup when it's time to use the backup? It'd be like saying, oh yeah, I bought an extra tire for your G-Wagon to use as a spare, Nick. And then we get a flat and you don't tell me we even have it. Well, then what other motive could you have for having bought the tire? Right? You must have, you know, had some design upon it yourself. Right? And it wasn't that he forgot, because in that situation, it is just like when you have a flat, it's glaringly obvious that, you know, me would be looking for the spare tire. And if you don't tell me there's a spare tire, and I don't find it, well then why the fuck do we buy a spare tire? And so in this case, it's like you had a backup dress. The prompt was to buy one, not two dresses, one. You have a backup dress, fine. But why didn't you use the backup dress when the main dress literally guaranteed a loss? You know? Like that's a guaranteed L for your team. You don't mention that you have another one? Right? And then you just decide, oh, it's mine to take. Because fine, you don't mention you have it. Like that's already like a very, very, very strange, like, you know, red flag. So then in what situation was the backup for? Right? So in what situation was the backup for? And then I have someone telling me, which I don't know if it's true, I can check, but it's irrelevant now, I guess. Someone told me that both dresses were on the expense sheet at one point as well. Like for seeking reimbursement. But that either before the presentation or even like during the presentation, they removed it. just be one more point in favor of what I'm saying. The point is this, right? Like, that's the hardest part for me to believe. You got a backup dress, and then in the situation where the backup dress would have saved you and maybe won you the challenge, would have definitely won the girl dress challenge. Decide not to use it. See, here's the thing, right? This is an extreme example, but if I tell you, hey, look, for this challenge, I'll give you an example. Let's say I told the team to build that mobile throne, the litter, right? I said, here's your budget, which I did tell them. Your budget is this amount of money for it, right? Let's just say as a nice round number, it was the budget was $300. You would buy the most economic tools if you needed tools. Or if you had them in your truck or whatever, you would just use those, right? And then you would build the thing, and then, buy the wood and all that, right? The screws, the bolts. But imagine if you knew you had a $300 budget to build a litter. Instead, you went to Home Depot and you bought and you put it in your car. Is it fair for you to ask for the reimbursement? You know what I'm saying? Of course that's not how it works. I clip farmed a military vet. I mean, let me use it. I'm assuming you're a military vet or you're a military vet or military vet adjacent, so I'm gonna try to use it. I mean, that might be effectively what happened, but it was not my intention. I'm not cogent enough in that situation to be able to remember to clip farm. All I can do in that situation is play up my natural reaction more. And that's what I did. And you have to be like, no, you clip farm him. And I would ask you to consider the following. The first time you justifiable reason. Apparently right? At will like that. I wish. It's giving me a lot of credit. Unlike that I Love Lucy skit where they're in the chocolate factory making chocolates and then they run out of time to QC them. That's me when it comes to running an event and content. I'm just like, oh shit. I'm like half a step behind. But sure, I mean, if you want to say that, I'm okay with that. I'm clip formed. Oh shit. We run low on the gases. There's so many Ferraris on this road. What the fuck? But yeah, like, come on. The balls were in there. The random beers, right? The sauna, the dresses. Right? Are we serious here? You're not serious, right? Like, you cannot be serious, right? Like, it was maybe a calculated him thinking they won't miss it, it doesn't matter, they're probably going to throw it away anyways. All those, you know, reasons that people use to justify. Right? And it's definitely not nearly as bad, even if it's functionally the same, as like, you know, grabbing or pickpocketing someone's wallet. Right? But I mean, like, yeah, I mean, like, in any white collar situation, you'd be fired for that. You would be fired for that. 100%. And if you were, you know, dumb enough to be like, but my reimbursement, maybe it gets a little more serious and, you know, they get either, you know, the cops or whatever involved. Maybe they sue you, right? Yeah, I mean, like, you don't do that type of shit. And then when you do that type of shit, you get caught, and you're not really being held to anything other than a little bit of embarrassment. That's a great way to fucking go. You know? Who paid for what? Yourself, you dumbass Asian. No one likes you. Here is the funny part about that. Given the reputation that I enjoy, no one liked me from the beginning. I mean, like the 22 incident, you know, me and Kate fighting on stream, ain't nobody liked me. I had a fan base of 0. And so, the beautiful thing about 0, you know, in terms of 0 fans, because you can't really have negative fans, is that you can't go any lower. So, you know, if you want to look at the silver lining, it can only get better. I mean, I don't really care if people like me or not. It doesn't matter to me. It literally matters not. Alright, getting some gas.
Okay.
Hit. Okay. Woo. Dude, I pushed it to the very end, dude. You can't even see any fucking gas. There's a 50% chance I'd have woken you to help me push. You'd be like, what the fuck? I was like, I don't know. I was fucking talking to chat. Holy shit, this wind. What the fuck? Sorry, guys. Bad view. But I need something to drink, and then, yeah. Anyways, apologies if Mondo gets there before I do and has to wait a little bit, but I guess I'll pay for dinner to make up for it. Ray said he paid for like 500 cookers. Listen, I got exactly what I needed out of Ray, okay? I got video blackmail evidence of him in a cuck chair. Okay? That's exactly what I was looking for. Got him. I honey potted him. I need to grow up? Probably. I probably should grow up. Sorry, I'm trying to... Okay. So I do want to... I guess I'll do an energy drink. And then a snack. Maybe not. I don't need more food. I'm kind of tubby. I started off not having enough time to eat, and then I ended up eating a lot of dense caloric junk. Yeah, I definitely don't need more calories. Okay, so I'm gonna pee real fast, and then, we'll hit the road again. Sorry about that. Here we go. Maybe this. I don't need that much caffeine, jeez. I want something caffeinated, but not that caffeinated. I mean, I guess my only choice is to drink less of it. I mean, I'll buy it and I'll get a water as well, I guess. It's 200 milligrams of caffeine in this thing, which is too much. But I guess if I don't drink all of it and I just drink some water, it'll be fine. Sorry, I don't know why you're looking at my face. That's not useful. Okay, well now you look at my face because I didn't pay for shit. Hey, just these two. What's up?
The guy was like, "What do you guys do? Influencer?"
Did you say vlogger? Vlogger?
I just said social media.
Ah, social media. Oh, shit. Wait, I got it. enough hands for this shit. Ooh. Oh, not nearly enough hands.
Or too much stuff. You want a magic spoon?
Maybe later. That's interesting. I didn't see anything healthy. I don't hate Nick. I'm just better at him, better than him at any aspect in life. Okay, this should be everything.
Man, this car is demolished.
A lot of stuff. Oh shit, must have been Kate's car.
I thought so too.
I was like, what? Alright, here we go. On the road again.
You good to drive?
Yeah, we're only like what, 90 minutes? Less than 90 minutes? Not that much longer, guys. So yeah, just tie a bow on it. That's what I think the whole beat situation was. I definitely expected it from certain people at the event. I didn't expect it from him in particular. But like, it's not that, I don't know, it doesn't really change much of anything.
Would you say it was blown out of proportion for the sake of content, but still, like, he's not the worst?
I mean, honestly though, like, I wish that type of shit, I got the opportunity to do that, like, early in the show, because that would have made a different show. That pulled me out of the shell pretty definitively. Yeah, because it's just like, well, shit, like, if we're talking about that type of thing, and like, that's before you even looked at, like, this is, I think, a step worse than, for instance, this. Imagine if I am building one of these tasks, right? And I'm like, oh yeah, there's a budget, so if I can just buy the power tool instead of borrowing this other guy's power tool, or even if I have a power tool in my truck, what if I just want to buy one for the event? Well, then who keeps it after the event? Right? Like, it's hard to not do that kind of value mining. You shouldn't, but I can see that. But I think this is a little bit further, right? It's like if I bought a power tool that I never even used in the event, but I reimbursed for. Here's what the dress looks like. And I do think that, like, when someone does that, maybe the whole team, but like certainly that person, I feel no obligation to reimburse them for anything. That's how I feel about it. Because I don't think it's my responsibility to come through your shit and see if there's any such similar thing. You know? And so when I made the point about buying him the Christmas thing, it was just to say that, like, even if I screwed you on this $200 reimbursement or whatever, right? You got more value out of it anyways, before even looking at KDP. Because I got you, like, when all said and done, $300-something object for the Christmas giveaway.
It was delivered yesterday.
Yeah.
I'll have Reds ship it out. Whatever, sometime.
Yeah, like, it's like, dude, what do you, like, you didn't come out bad. And someone was like, oh my god, I bring up Christmas stuff? It's like, yes, because I only dragged him into the thing because I recognized him as a contestant on the show. There was like a lot of people wanting to do that, and we just kind of let him lead it off almost because his name was recognizable. I I mean, so yeah, for the very reasons that he was anointed on the show already, he was, given just a free chance to just ask for whatever he wanted. And it's like, with that kind of backdrop, I don't know why you would choose to operate that way. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Access to your house, and I'm going through your wife, or if you don't have a wife, your valuables, right? And you catch me. What do? Throw up my hands and say, I didn't even take anything. Because there is a foul elephant in the room, which is yet. I didn't take anything yet. But when you line up the motives, there's only really one motive. For me to be in your house without your permission, accessing your valuables. And so when you say, well, he paid for it. So first of all, his team was assigned a task. The task had a reimbursement amount tied to its completion. Okay? Did he buy it with money out of pocket? Maybe. I guess. I'm assuming that's right. But he didn't do the work of, principally picking the dress. It was just the card that was swiped. And in increasing, it looks like he offered to do that for a calculated reason. But, I don't know that part. So I'm not going to fucking venture that. The work his team put into it, was basically mostly forfeited by him. And the fact that both dresses at some point made their way onto the reimbursement list shows that while he may have both of the dresses. And so what you're really saying is he hadn't done anything illegal yet. That's the best case. That's the best case. But at the same time, at will happening. But an attempt was made. I think we can, agree on that. You're playing the technicality game, but we all know where the ethics on it stand. You know? As a pickpocket, and it happens to be that I took an EpiPen. I mean, yeah, you could probably make a case that you're trying to save your own life because you thought you were having an allergic reaction, sure. But come on, we all know what happened. It's like, it adds to the comicalness of it, for sure.
Can I borrow all of your RMs? I don't know what time it is. I'm joking. I'm gonna borrow your RM so I can tell what time it is.
Is it oh, you're charging? I don't think I need it. It's just it's like,
No, this is to the car.
actually, was I charging earlier or no?
Yeah, you were.
Oh.
It's just unplugged.
I mean, if you hit the gas, it's simple, right? Whether he violated the letter of the law or not, he definitely violated the intent, and rules of the game. Listen, guys, I'm gonna be honest with you real fast, okay? I don't give a fuck about your sense of right and wrong. I really don't. I operate on my own moral compass. And it's pretty simple, right? I don't want people who are earnest, to come away with less for having done an event, even though I know they were venturing for more. But if you step outside that very, very comfortable